Greetings, mortals. I am Nathans, the ruler of the underworld, and today we will be reacting to the newest chapter of My Academia, chapter 392, titled Villain Name. Already the best chapter of the year. Why? Because it has villain in the title. And we all know that whenever you have a villain in the title, you automatically have the best. You automatically are the best chapter. Like no debate whatsoever. Anyone praise this chapter for having a villain title? Alright, but seriously, let's get into this chapter reaction since, it's a pretty nice kind of setup chapter and, kind of development for Toga and all that. So yeah, anyways, we start this chapter off with, saying, swallowed up by a horde. As we see Tsuyu there, kind of bound randomly and kind of her clothes destroyed, and she's kind of exhausted with her tongue sticking out a bit as all the toys are kind of like holding her. So you look like they're masking her, funny enough. As we have the real Toga and Twice emerging, and she also gonna decide to get her figure back alongside half of her face. So 1/4 of her face being back. As then we have Toga screaming, "What could you possibly understand about me?" And she has a knife ready. As then Uraka uses her float, her wire, as well as her quirk to like move a bit in the air as the twice copies are like jumping her, and this really looks like they are like just a ocean wave of twice. It's like I'm not even like being figurative. Like they are literally, it literally looks like they're just twice on top of twices, or like I'm moving like in the ocean. And because if anyone wonders about how logical is this, remember twices are these copies of Dice would have very weak stamina. I mean, they could disappear. So the gap between them being solid and becoming liquid is probably just enough, so it isn't obvious. They just like liquefy all over the place. I can also see how volume explain how this exactly is possible and working, because again, like it's one thing when you just talk about it, figure it out, but another thing when you actually make it look like it this way. As they have Orca screaming, Floppy! As they have to say, the wounds I got in Okoto Island are making it hard for me to fight back. Do you? Wait, did she get any major damage? I think she did get a stab. I'm not sure if they were major. And as they get a furious Toga screaming, you never had to deal with even a single inconvenience. The rules were made for people like you. You were born into such an easy life. As she gets ready to stab, which can't help but feel like this is kind of a commentary in modern society, since when Ochako's back. So I know it's not been referenced a lot, but Ochako is not does not come from a wealthy family. She comes from a relatively poor family. Like I'm not sure. It's not really fully explained what kind of family she comes from. All we know is that it's not wealthy, and her parents had to a lot of times overwork themselves, and they come home extremely tired. As and she wanted to make it when she became a hero because of the money that heroes are getting, be able to do more work and less funds, which to be fair kind of contradicts the whole message of the heroes is not about financial aid, but in this situation, Ochako should get a lot of financial aid because again her family and all that. As then we go in on flashback with Toga, where it seems that she. No, I feel like this is also supposed to set up a bit of a contrast where Toga, she comes from I wouldn't say wealthy family, but she comes from a really well off family because it seems like they have an entire house and even a bit of a wall there and all that. So they come from a more wealthier than Ochako, but Toga's quirk is less desirable by society, more of a problem than Ochako's. So it's a bit of a contrast there. Like Otoga, financially stable, but the quirk is just not good for society. Ochako, financially unstable, but her quirk is very good for society. As there we see Toga on the floor. I don't know what she's doing, because there's like a dead birthday as her parents come. As then her parents say stuff like, "You kill a sparrow to drink its blood, and then you smiled." Actually, I think the is more that they hit her, then just like she kind of got pushed aside or something. I don't know. I mean, I think we already gotten this kind of. I think this is a reference to something we've gotten during the My Villain Academia arc, where Toga showed up as birds like look at this kid covered in blood and all that. And they have Toga cry. She's like, no, I found it on the ground in the backyard. Which I kind of believe. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Toga to them, her to drink its blood, but again, I would not really be surprised if birds, Fire Emblem's dead. Backyard's a bit weird because again, this looks to be more like fenced away from everyone, but again, it's not impossible. Then we get a panel of that bird. Then we see some office lady as she tells Toga, the Red Stocktail, like, let's straighten you out so you can be normal. She kind of shows something and to like read. I kind of want to say this is meant to have her sign some kind of document, but I question why Toga would need herself to sign it. This seems like something that would be like, here, sir, just sign here, and we'll straighten your daughter out. But here it's real she's talking directly to Toga, and the perspective again makes it look like that way. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know, maybe this is like her just showing a few therapy tips or something to do. As then we get some dialogue overview as someone's like, oh, I think this is this lady probably or someone else in this office be like, oh, it'll just be a minute, okay? I'll come right over. Yes, that's fine, that's right. Deviance is common in children with strong quirks. It happens all the time in our current society. We'll fix it. It'll be like it never existed. Which now makes me think this lady was like something that happened beforehand, and in the Sparrow incident is what the parents called her over, and then she came and handled it. Questioning what she did, and to the point that they would think that her coming right over would fix it, since, I mean, like the lady, because like, we just have to continue the therapy. I was hoping there would be progress, but there is not. So I'm kind of questioning the translations here, but I think that there is supposed to probably be accurate or at least close to the truth. So again, I'm kind of weird about that. But anyways, then we see Toga, I guess returning from school, is looking at a bunch of different people. She sees like a young couple there, some guy just laughing in the background, one with cones patting his dog. I will never understand dog lovers in my entire life, and I'm not going to try to understand now. As we have Toga face of remembering some words, and she's staring at that, and so I was like, what are you doing? Stop that! Himiko-chan's face is scary! What kind of face was he making? You're like some sort of deviant! As Toga sticks her finger in her mouth. And I gotta be honest, a few of these things, like her face and all that type of stuff, I don't think it's so much Toga's quirk as just the face that she was born with. Like, she was just born with a very evil face, which, to be fair, is accurate to the society and all that. Again, one thing that My Academia does do well is nails society, real life society. So yeah, it's kind of like the whole face. Like, I don't think she can really do anything. Like, she just has these very sharp features. Like, she's not gonna be able to do anything. You can zap or whatever you want to out of her head the love for blood thing, but if her face is gonna look like a vampire or a demon or something like that, then sorry, it's not going to help. You cannot destroy. Oh, I guess you could do plastic surgery on it, but that's something completely different. You can That's something like you are official. She can't really do anything about that. As then we have her parents saying, nothing we say is getting through to her. Just be normal. Again, if you guys are upsetting over how her face looks, I'm not exactly certain her not loving blood is going to help that. I mean, there's a popular boy that you could see, and she will get like a lustful, loving face, or in love face, which again, she can't do shit about that thing. People, I don't directly say, but I really do have to question like, how much exactly Toro can do about some of this stuff. As then we get like a shot of people like just general like happiness and joy and all that. Like we see a woman also wearing a plant, and I'm not old friends. I'm going to assume like look at birds, kids playing, kids looking at a hero and all that. As we see Toga uh, having her beating her finger so strong that she actually even comes to blood, which personally I would start being more concerned about her self mutilation and than anything else. Like this is like the first time we've gotten an implication that Toga has some self-mutilating desires. When we got like chapter with Toga's old house, we even I think she even said she was dreaming of like a bird coming out of her stomach, like biting or chewing at her, ripping her meat or something apart. But anyways, then we have a conversation with her parents as they're like, "Himiko, you drank your friend's blood." Uh, as then we have again. I want to say her, the one that was in charge of taking care of her, saying, "That's wrong," or I'm just kidding, "That's wrong." But then we have Doja's spirit. They were hurt, so I kissed it better. Although, which according to the little translations we're getting for the Japanese, apparently kiss and suck is about apparently kind of sad. Apparently, it can be said the same way, or it's like one of those double meaning kind of things, like you know how for and deaf kind of can mean the same thing depending on what you use. So yeah, I guess it's like one of those which and I could just see it as a misunderstanding. Then, yeah, it's not really clear. I don't think this is supposed to be that moment where she like sucked someone's blood with a straw. I think this is like meant literal. If I can even mention a friend, I think that might just be what they assuming. Again, different side. We don't see panels, so we don't really know full context here. We just see like the words. Is there some screaming? That's not normal. Don't you want to be normal? I'm not sure if that's the same conversation, but I'm going to assume it is. As they have Thor saying, Mama, Papa, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. If everyone suppresses their desire to become the one they love, uh, why doesn't anyone else kiss the way I do? The, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to be referring to or anything, but maybe there's some conversation, translation issues. But desire to become the ones they love, why doesn't? So yeah, I guess this is meant to. She did kind of suck at. She uses a kiss, but it's actually a suck. As they see, I am not certain this is supposed to be Toga when she's. I'm not sure this is supposed to be teenage Toga because again, the perspective makes her look younger. Like I would say, if we saw her when she was thin a bit earlier, then I would say this is like when she was like 13 or something. As we see her crying and kind of like even almost like ripping her clothes off as she cries over it, she has those teeth. Which again, I feel like this has more. I feel like some of these issues just come on from her natural face. Like I don't even want to shame Toga. I would just say that she was just born with not the best face. Which again, in the past, I feel like some of you might be exaggerating on some of these things. And she was even crying and all that. And then we have the parents like screaming, ah! And mother's like on the ground and she's, oh, it's over. And the dad's like, this just isn't right. She's gotten to the core. Again, I think you're just really mean to her because of other stuff, but yeah, it's a bit of an issue. As they have her dad saying, we gave birth to a child that isn't human. Really? That's not really nice way to say. As then we have her crying her eyes out. Which also, if you guys are so pissed off at not getting results in a single day, I feel like it is kind of your fault that things just went crazier and crazier. And then you see like a panel with her just crying giant tears. Which again, I don't think some of this was her fault considering just structure even as a child. As then we see Toga going for a stab, as we have Curious, I guess in her like delusional state, kind of being there as well, similar to how Sarah Borg once appeared next to Mayuri. As Curious shows up behind her, says, "You swept your feelings on the rock. You put on a mask and suppress yourself." As we see like that, mask that we've seen earlier in this chapter, and as well as doing the Marvel Academia arc, as it's kind of like slowly covering Toga. As then we see Toga in completely about twice or anything, like completely bare all that. As Curious tells her, in an attempt to become someone else, as then we have a while grabbing Toga and then pulling her away from Sue and all that by chocolate she's in the air, forcing Toga to go to her. As we see twice, just trying to grab her and falling off. As we have Toga screaming, Uaraka! Or maybe that's as then we have Sue falling, as Jiro's over there as she with Kami Woods. She's like, Tsuyu-chan! She tries to catch her. As then we have with Kami Woods back. We're like, that's not her! As then we see him holding the real Tsuyu, which I'm not like still on the perspective here. I'm not sure if this was meant to be like a fake that Toga created, or if this was like real Tsuyu all along. I mean, I'm going to kind of, because again, the conversation at the beginning makes me think this was the real Tsuyu, and by the looks of Tsuyu, she actually does look really hurt. She has ribbit, but yeah, then we have Joe like, huh? And then we see this copy get like this really evil face. Like if you want how evil Tsuyu looks, this is how evil Tsuyu looks. As then we see Kabe Woods grabbing Jiro as it even destroys the big Tsuyu. As Kabe Woods says, that's Toga! As then we see like a army of twice Tsuyus, Togas, and even Jiro. As we have that's twice I'm saying all heroes must die. As then Kamen screams, the clones are drinking the blood that's spread across the battlefield. And showing it by Jiro also being there. As then we have Jiro saying, even me? And she's like, emphasizing the fact that how damaged her ear is. Which does make me wonder if Jiro being there, her pointing out, and also becoming one that is supposed to symbolize something, whether it's gonna like come back into play. Because I don't know, like Jiro's never been really even remotely connected to this storyline or anything of it. So that's kind of make me wonder if Jiro's like says gonna be. Do you want to be? Is she gonna have like a moment where she gonna ask if Toga wants to be friend? Like you made a copy of me, so with twice. So do you want to be? And also the singing kind of calming everyone, kind of removing the darkness of that, and I do kind of get like similar. I can actually see there being like similar visualities, like a similar visuality. Like I don't think Jiro's gonna take over this or anything like that. It's still gonna be mostly a Raka, but I do wonder if this is gonna be like a if Jiro's going to play any kind of role in Toga's defeat. Although maybe indirectly killing her or something like that, but we're gonna have to wait and see. It could just be like, to show a representation of what Toga has been doing now with people's blood all over the place and, using it to its fullest potential. Unlike some other series where usually villains don't really use any potentials on any options they have. As then we anyways we have I guess Kami Woods getting Toga or getting Jiro closer to him for her safety. As Kami tells her to fight against this kind of army, everyone needs to coordinate and attack together. But we've been scattered, and if any of the heroes got tricked by her, as they just get some big screaming, as we see like a bunch of like explosion. No, not sure if that's supposed to be explosions or just the giant waves of twice starting to fall down. Or if that's supposed to be dirt for Mandalay or for Pixie Bop. It's not very clear. I don't think it's the most obvious what the heck's going on, but there's like a big chaos everywhere and everything. Which, yeah, it's a really bad thing by looks of things. I think it's supposed to be that Twice Army is just kind of engulfing Kami Woods and everyone there, which at this point I really do have to wonder how many heroes and everyone's here is still alive at this point, because it really does feel like a lot of the army that was meant to go up against All For One and those guys that were with him that show up again undead at this point. Which I would not be even surprised if at the end we get like this like wasteland shot where we see like just a few heroes still alive and raving. I might be exaggerating, but I would not be surprised by it right now. Anyways, then we have some flashbacks. They're like saying they get like that television screen kind of flashbacks. We have some saying there's nothing we can do to stop them. They get Hawk saying, "Kill them right now!" As then we get one Tsuyu kind of going against the real Tsuyu as the fake Tsuyu says, "Heroes die!" As Tsuyu says, "Tora, Himiko-chan, listen to me! At first I thought that being a hero meant following the rules. Anything less that seemed villainous. Listen, Himiko Toga-chan." Fine, she has to get the full name and Togo-chan. As we get like a scrunch up face of the fake Toga, as there's even twice there. As we have her saying, as we get like the flashback to a bit earlier in this battle, as Tourist tells her, right now my friend's priority is not in the rules. More than anything else, she wants to confront you. The path she's chosen is much harder than simply arresting or killing you. So yeah, they're trying to calm Toga's emotions because, well, looking at the next battle, it looks like, yeah, I don't know if it's even possible to beat in a traditional way Toga right now, because, like, again, this is really looking like we're currently staring at a river of Twices just splashing around one another over and over again. As they have to tell her, I know that Ochako-chan is more than a little late, but can you please listen to what she has to say? As then we have a bunch of Twices being there as well. As then we cut to the main confrontation between Toga and Ochako, as we see Toga stabbing what looks like Ochako in the liver or somewhere in that general facility, as they're in the air spinning around, as Toga's transformation also is getting on her legs. As then we get Toga's Twice side saying to Ochako, we're just too different. I've never felt the blessings and happiness you speak of. As there we see, I think Tochako's coughing of blood. Like, it's kind of different to tell if that's blood or if that's supposed to be Twice Goodbye. I think it's supposed to be blood. As they were told, saying to Choco, not to, not what even once. Don't apply your standards to decide that you should pity me. As we see some blood falling and dripping down, and some really weird power that makes me think that Toga is groping Ochako right now while we are not supposed to be thinking that because of, everything that's going on right now. As then we get to the final panel of the chapter, as we have a flashback with Twice while he was smoking somehow from his mask cover, which I feel like is going to be a proper joke next chapter. As Twice is like, come on, come to think of it, Toga-chan, why don't you pick out a villain name? Refer to the title of the chapter, and it's now being stated as we have the narrator saying memories from the past break next week, which again makes me think there's gonna be something kind of holiday or something next week in Japan. But yeah, this is we're ending the chapter off. So yeah, this flash. So yeah. Now this also actually makes sense of why they're pointing this out, because I don't think Toga has ever got like a straight up name. Like even Dobby, he had Dobby as his villain, but I don't think they even called him Blue Flame. Toga, I don't think has ever got like anything equivalent to it. Like I think one chapter was titled Vampire, which I think when it came out, I assumed that was like her villain name. But no, we never really got anything like that. So this next chapter is probably gonna explain on the reasoning why she doesn't have a villain name. But yeah, anyways, this chapter was just went more as like a continuation of the fight chapter, more of a like kind of a setting this up for this whole flashback chapter, as well as getting more little details about Toga's past and all that, and how apparently people just didn't realize that she was unfortunately born with a face that just made a very evil smile and sadness. Well, those guys really will just say this when you really think about it. Which does make me think that the people who were in charge of making sure everyone is fixed all that was just people who didn't understand, like, facial. Some people gotta be born with very unfortunately evil facial structures. With everything else, like some people just look like they're like certain other things, like even if they are not. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, this chapter was okay, nothing really to say. It's like one of those chapters I feel just gotta look back in the anime because we're not going to have to. It's gotta be more visually pleasing and more of the music and more that type of stuff because again these chapters are not as good. Fine enough, I would say that's my criticism in the battles that we are having right now with the legal villains is that a lot of them really would be better if we got more of a more fast paced, more of the art, more of the things that anime gives you. It's not that they're bad, it's just they'll work better in the anime than in the manga. That's the basic point here. So yeah, that's it. Next chapter, I'm expecting to be mostly this flashback explaining Toga's known villain name, maybe even more about the relationship with her parents, all that. Maybe actually seeing it because so far they've only been covered in shells and that type of stuff. And yeah, I don't think the next chapter is gonna be the end for this battle, but I feel like we could be reaching an end to this battle. Couple of chapters, I would say. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you like this chapter reaction. I hope you leave your thoughts on this chapter in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.